Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the podcast. Like I actually bring very contentious issues to the audience every now and then. So today we will be talking about the Bangladesh July Charter and its implications on the Bangladesh's future. Uh, we will go through the pros and cons and how it came about, the history of the July Revolution, and how the charter came about. Today, I have with me a very special guest. He is a very well-known activist, businessman, former councillor, and obviously today he will be representing the organization called Reforms Citizens for Reforms in Bangladesh. He is the chair, and he is none other than Ayub Korom Ali. Assalamu alaikum, Ayub bhai.
Walaikum salam, Ruhul bhai.
Yes, so thank you for coming. I want to ask you, how did the July Charter came about? Do you want to take us through?
Okay, all right. Okay, so a couple of quick points about the July Charter. So, July Charter is a document that has been put together by the Consensus Commission that was set up by Professor Yunus.
Mm.
And the Consensus Commission has deliberated on this document for months with political parties, except the banned Awami League. And what they have produced now is a outcome of that long-drawn discussion with the political parties. The main proposals came from, you remember when Professor Yunus was appointed as head of caretaker, few months after he set up a number of reform commissions. Yeah.
Yes.
So this charter is a summary of the recommendations made by those reform commissions. Yeah. And the discussions have been around the proposals that he put together from the uh, number of reform commissions and the Oikko Commission, i.e., the Consensus Commission, has been deliberating on this with the political parties. Okay, the so it's a set of proposals as to how the July Revolution or August Revolution can be taken forward. Because you remember there was a lot of talk about reforms, repairing the state, doing things for the country so that in future it cannot turn to a tyrannical, abusive, corrupt state, i.e., we will have a new Bangladesh by enacting certain reform measures which will fulfill the dreams and aspirations of July Revolution, i.e., a more equal society, more egalitarian society, where there will be rule of law, there will be no corruption, there will be human dignity, social justice, all of these things. Uh, so this is the background and this is the aim. But further point I'll make is this is not a document that has been completed yet. It's still work in progress. So there has been two rounds of discussion with the Consensus Commission, with all the political parties, yeah, together and also individually. Some things have been agreed, other things have not been agreed. So there is going to be another round of talks, and I think it's going to be the final round in second part of September, when it is hoped that the contentious issues, the areas where there is disagreement now, will be thrashed out and there will be some consensus. Yeah. And then everybody, all the political parties will be able to sign up to the declaration. Just to give you a flavor of where the contentions are. Yeah. Uh, the charter makes 84 proposals altogether. Yeah, the vast majority of these proposals are non-contentious. Yeah, and all the political parties have signed them without any hesitation. Yeah, and some of them have already been implemented or being implemented. But there are eight what the charter terms as fundamental, deep-rooted reforms, and this is where the disagreement is. So just to
Do you want to
give
go
your
through the eight
listener and
entities?
yourself,
Do you want to go through the
just
eight?
to give yourself a little, sorry?
You want to go through the eight proposals which are being
Yeah,
discussed?
yeah. So one of them is about indemnity, legal protection for these proposals, so that future governments cannot come and change them. Yeah, and also, if you like, take the revolutionaries or those who are involved in the uprising to court and charge them for anti-state activities. Yeah, so it's legal protection for them as well
Yeah, can I
as
play
actors
devil's
in.
advocate here? Obviously,
Yeah,
it looks to me that it's almost above the law, above the constitution, like this specific clause.
what they're saying
Some
is
would argue.
what they're saying. Yeah, what they're saying is because it's a it is
But even
a
the constitution is,
post-revolution.
can be amended. So when you have something
Yeah,
above,
because it is coming after a revolution, after throwing
yeah,
uh, over the system, as it were, the regime. Yeah, you need to have these aspirations and principles and safeguards in place because this is the supreme will of the people. Yeah, so this is where the argument is coming from. Uh, I'm not a constitutional expert, so I'm just giving you the headlines.
never
I
mind,
won't
never
be
mind.
able
I'm
to
just
explain
trying to
too
get
deeply.
some
The
information.
other one is about limits and the power sharing between the executive and the rest of the society. So, for instance, one of the things that has been agreed by all the political parties is prime minister cannot be in power for 10 years, either consecutively or cumulatively. Yeah. So 10 years altogether. Yeah. Whether it's in two terms or 5 terms, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Yeah. Uh, uh, no prime minister should at the same time be leader of the political parties that he or she is representing. Yeah. Uh, there's also proposals for bringing about a balance between the power of the prime minister and the rest of the executive. So there is proposals for forming commissions for uh, appointing uh, chairs in the various constitutional bodies like Electoral Commission, the Human Rights Commission, etc., etc., and also where the judges are appointed. See, if you remember, one of the complaints about Hasina's government was that she was an all-powerful prime minister. All vast majority of the state power was concentrated in her hand. Yeah, and there was no recourse. There is no questioning. She was the monarch, if you like, in a kind of uh, the way it is in a monarchy. So that's the proposals to kind of carve and limit that. There is also legislative reform. So they're now proposing two parliaments. Now, this is very new for Bangladesh. Okay, we have one house at the moment. Yeah. So in the eight fundamental reform proposal, one of the proposal is that we have a bicameral, I think is the word, two houses. Yeah, a lower house and a senate. Yeah, and both of these house should be elected with PR, professional representation. The upper house, i.e., the Senate, uh, I think all the political parties agree that it can be elected uh, with a PR system. But the lower house, the BNP, is not so keen on PR. But the Jamaat and other parties are very adamant on this. Yeah.
So can I just come in?
Then you
So
have,
one
yeah.
of the questions I have, like Bangladesh is very well known for political activities, and Bengalis historically are very politically active. I mean, do we really need more politicians in the parliament? That is my question.
Well, it's not about politician. It's about curbing the power of prime minister and also one group of people. Because see, if you have one chamber and they have, say, 40% of the votes cast, yeah, that's a tiny minority, but they dominate the legislative process. Yeah. And often legislation is promoted not necessarily based on the interests of the country or the people, but what the party thinks is best for them. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in order to prevent that, if you have a bit of a checks and balances, yeah, then it can challenge and counter these tendencies. Yeah, this is how it works in UK.
Mhm.
The upper chamber is a revising house. Yeah, legislation goes to them. They look at it and they say, "Look, this is too narrow. This is too."
Mhm.
Uh, uh, um, uh, unjust on certain groups, certain people, yeah, or certain sectors of economy, and they're able to change it, send it back. But in Bangladesh, I think uh, it will do that, but it will also do another thing. I think because PR and two chambers with PR system will also take us out of this aggressive, electioneering, election engineering that is done with money and muscle. Yeah, because the focus, first past the post system, the focus is on the individual. Yeah, so individual person who stands for a constituency, he invests everything. Yeah, and he manipulates the system by whatever means possible, mainly with money and motorcycle and muscle. You have heard this, how it happens in Bangladesh. But if you have a PR system, the focus will be on the party. Yeah, so people will now then vote for parties across the country. Yeah. So this hero in the locality who is bent on gaining power or getting elected by hook or by crook will not be there. Yeah. But his all the aspirant MPs name will be on a list maintained by their party in order of preference. Yeah, in order of priority. And then if they get 30% of the votes, then they will get 30% of the seats, and they will nominate 30% of the people from their list. Yeah. So I think it's a more democratic, more accountable, more inclusive system. And there are lots of countries in the world who operate this system and find it much more inclusive. And I think it will be great if Bangladesh can move into this. I think this is the time to try things like make change of this sort. This is the right time. It goes with the aspiration of the revolution,
Yeah, 100%.
democratizing our country.
I've been advocating for PR in Bangladesh for many years, almost over a decade, honestly. I've been
Good, good.
myself, and what I've seen in many countries where they have PR, it's actually working very fine, very well, and it's more democratic, like you say. And personally, I'm for PR as well, and I think Bangladesh needs PR because for too long, the current system that we have is too autocratic. It gives power to
Yeah.
one person.
So
Um,
yeah.
and
So you must be pleased. You should be supporting this.
but
The
there
other
is one
thing is they
criticism.
want to bring back
There is
the
one
caretaker
criticism
government,
I
which
have.
was, as you know.
So
So
I
the other
have
thing
one
is,
criticism where I have one criticism where obviously we see in some countries, not all countries, we have like hung parliaments, like like under PR, you have representation from many parties, and then you have hung parliaments. It's very difficult to pass laws sometimes. That is a minor issue. In most countries, it's working perfectly well. It's more democratic, no doubt. What
in
would
the
you think?
in the event of not one party getting a clear majority, obviously then they will have to form alliance with other parties. And in the Bangladesh context, it may not be a bad idea, because what happens when you have one party rule? they become very authoritarian, aggressive, and arrogant, yeah, and very self-centered. And then after the election, a couple of years later, the others get cheesed off, fed up. They then often walk out of the parliament and start agitating in the street, yeah, and that has been the pattern, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 3 years in the life of a parliament, you will see it's the parliament itself is disintegrating, yeah. The party in power remains in there. Others come out or come
Yeah.
out and come in, yeah, and then try to bring it down. I think if everybody has a stake in a government, yeah, I think that will make it a little bit stronger in Bangladesh. So I think it's ironic for Bangladesh context. I think it will be a good thing, and it will work.
100%. I
Uh,
think people always demand new things, and people demand reforms all the time. People want to see new parties, new personalities in politics, And I think this
yes.
is, too long, for too long we've been waiting for a change, and this is, well due in Bangladesh.
And I think I
Um,
think I think it will also
but
bring.
to give a little bit of credit, I think that last time, the former president of Jatiya Party, General Ershad, tried to actually bring about changes, decentralize a lot of stuff. He introduced court systems in local districts. Yeah, he decentralized a lot of governmental activities. But since then, since 1990, we really haven't seen much, decentralization.
Yeah.
So what
I,
what
I'm
I think
I'm
most of the reforms are asking right now is like decentralization, more like accountability. So I see
yeah.
where
I mean,
the commission is coming
yeah. I
from.
mean, these are the aspirations behind this reform proposal. So I think the PR system has another advantage that I think is very relevant for Bangladesh, is that a lot of people shy away from electoral politics, yeah, elections, because they don't have that muscle power, yeah, or the money power or
Mm.
the motorcycle power, right? Because if you are winning, if your aim is to win a constituency, then you try and invest everything you can.
Exactly.
And those with the biggest number of, say, muscle men and motorcycles and lots of money usually go for it and they get through. Yeah. But I think this system, because it's not focused on one constituency and electing one person, I think a lot of more somber,
Mm.
more, if you like, less aggressive and less corrupt
Mm.
and less ill-meaning people, yeah,
Mm.
well-meaning people will be encouraged to join it because the focus will not be on them, yeah, but on their party. And if they are good on the party's good books, then whether their constituency wins or not, because they are not going to be identified with the constituency, their party will consider them on the basis of merit. And believe you me, merit is something Bangladesh needs badly, because we have been promoting people not in politics but in every aspects of life, not on the basis of merit, which is, I think, was a disaster, but on the basis of other consideration, whether you are son of a Mukti Juddha, or you are son of a Awami League minister, or you have good political connections, or you belong to the ruling party. And through that, we destroyed our institutions, political institution, and built a culture which is based on worshipping the party leaders, yeah,
Mm.
and sycophantic politics.
Mhm.
And I think PR is a refreshing change,
Mm.
and could be a way out of this. Okay,
One of the
let me
questions
quickly
I
just
have,
go through the others.
but before you move
Yeah.
on, like one of the largest parties in Bangladesh, the BNP, apparently is against the PR. I mean, surely they're the most largest party in Bangladesh, and surely if they claim as they say so, they should win a landslide if there was an election tomorrow. Why are they afraid of the PR?
Well, this is it, because in a PR system, landslide is not something that you can expect. Because if you look at what happens with fast past the post system, yeah, if if you have three candidates, and there's, say, uh, say there are 50 votes, yeah, three candidates, yeah. Now, one, uh, say, two between them, yeah, gets 30 votes, 15 each, yeah, but the other gets 20. So the person with 20 votes wins, yeah.
Very
So the
unfair.
majority
Yeah,
loses, yeah,
exactly.
because 15, 15 is 30, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with this system, you will get the bigger party getting more than the others, but the others will also get something.
Right. Okay.
So everybody's votes counts. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see the point.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Good.
point.
So
Okay.
can we move on to the next point? I think the fifth point.
Okay. Next point is I'll quickly go through them. So they want to bring caretaker government back, and there is broad agreement on that. There is nothing problem. They will also want to make the judiciary more independent and decentralized judiciary, and Irshad tried to do that, if you rightly remember. Uh, they want election commission and the political process to be reformed a little bit, uh, try and promote some practice within political parties, and also appointment of election commissioners in a way that it doesn't encourage or make it easy for people who are not fit for public offices to get through party nominations. Yeah, at the moment, people like yourself or me who have been interested in politics and not very strong on the traditional power base in terms of money, motorcycle, and muscles, uh, can't get very far. Yeah. Political parties see whether you have these qualities, because this is what they think is needed in politics. Uh, so I think some process whereby, again, merit and ability, yeah, and politics will be given a priority. You know, you have been a councillor, I've been a councillor. In this country, there are seven or eight what we call the Nolan principles.
Okay.
Remember? So if you are aspiring for a political position or a public position, you
Mm.
have to sign up to
Mm.
Nolan principles. If you
Mm.
don't conform to these, if you do not qualify for this, nobody will select you or
Exactly.
even offer you a public position, yeah, in a public body.
Yeah.
And these are about democracy, believe in rule of law,
Mm.
selflessness, yeah,
Yeah.
all of these good qualities that make somebody and people respect politicians.
Mm.
In Bangladesh, these are unknown, yeah. So they're thinking about bringing some of these concepts into candidate selection. Anti-Corruption Commission uh, and governance measures as well. So they're going to try and bring about appointment of commission members and chairs, and how it can be used to, if you like, promote good governance and curb corruption. Uh, and as I said, the very last one is they're saying recognition of July uprising, and a protection of those who are uh, in the street fighting, yeah,
Yeah.
who are the, if you like, the people who made it happen, yeah.
Yeah.
So that in future, if a not so sympathetic or anti July Revolution regime comes in, they won't be able to try them for treason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that's also important. So these are the main features of the July Charter. Uh, so
So you've gone
I
through
think
the
together, looking,
eight proposal which some parties have disagreements on. Do you want to
yeah,
just
that's right.
touch
So
on the
about
others? The rest of the
yeah.
proposal. Do you want to touch on them?
Uh, I mean, I think the others are cosmetic, superficial changes here and
Yeah.
there, but the more meaty ones
Yeah.
are the ones that I talked about, and this is where the contention is. This is where the sticking points are. BNP has, in principle, said we will support all of this, yeah, but also added some note of dissent against some of those, yeah, especially about balancing of power, the PR issue,
Mm.
the appointment of judiciary and chairs of different commissions. They don't want, because they think they are going to be in power, you see, after the next election. So they are not very keen on curtailing the power of their prime minister. Yeah, they want to enjoy. They want to enjoy
I can see
all
where
the
they're coming
freedom
from.
and the power that Hasina
Yeah.
enjoyed. So their commitment is uh, not necessarily a genuine one. They want to get through this by saying, yes, we are for it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to, the next question you are going to ask is what's going to happen with this? They
Yeah.
want to move into that stage.
Yeah. So I was going to ask actually, how, how will the charter be enacted in law?
All right, that's a good question. So as I said, uh, all the parties have said, in principle, we are okay. BNP saying we have reservations about some of them. Yeah. But the biggest disagreement is what happens to implementation.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, NCP and Jamaat, to a certain extent, they have come up with a uh, stage of implementation, and they have articulated as we want the trials done, or at least made it very visible that it is being done. Yeah, so that's the first one. Then Shonskar. Yeah, all the things that have been said here should be done before the election and then have the election. Yeah, but what the BNP is saying is that we are committed to Shonskar. We are a party of reforms. Yeah,
Mm.
we have got 31-point program. Yeah, and we've been doing it for ages. Nobody believes them. Yeah, uh, so they say
Yeah.
uh, these reforms cannot be done without an elected government, an elected representative deliberating, debating this. Yeah. So, whilst we are in favor of enacting them, but we will do it after the election, after debates and discussions in parliament. Yeah. Because, and the other parties don't simply believe that. Yeah. They believe that BNP will be elected. Yeah. Because this is how it looks. And if they're in power, they will not do that because this is what has happened in the past. Okay. There was a 21 program after the anti-Ishad opposition. And there was one time when Aumi League was talking about, remember,
Mm.
Din Bodoler Sonod,
Exactly.
the charter to change society. Yeah.
Mhm.
These are, interesting documents, but they never see the light of the day.
But if
There
I
was
was to argue,
also,
if
I
I was to
remember,
argue, like obviously we've had democratic governments, so-called democratic governments in Bangladesh since 1991. I mean, nothing really, drastically has changed. We haven't seen
yeah, that's
a
right.
big
So,
difference of reforms
good,
in
good,
Bangladesh.
good,
So
and
why would the public of Bangladesh, people of Bangladesh, believe uh, such a statement?
yeah, and nobody's asking the public anyway. But even then, those who are involved in the discourse, yeah, discussions,
Yeah.
apart from BNP and some other parties, they are with them. Nobody else in the other political parties believe them. Yeah. So there is this big contention. So what the Jamaat and NCP are saying, and that's very different from what the BNP. BNP's approach, as I said, is post-election. Let's do the implementation after the election through the parliament. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the Jamaat and NCP are saying, no, 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 no. We can't wait. The lives and bloods we gave is too important to be postponing the action following from that until an elected government is in power and then enact them and then act on them following election. Yeah, remember, so
Yes, I
you can
do.
see the timeline.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is uh, not only we don't believe you, but also it will be unjust and unfair to the families of those who gave lives.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're saying, let's have the agreement that we will do all of this, no dissent business. Yeah.
Mm.
All 100% commitment. And then let's have the election, next election, as a Ganaparishad election, constituent assembly election. And because a lot of these proposals will require redrafting, rewriting the constitution, let the constituent assembly, the Ganaparishad, yeah,
Mm.
uh, do that first. Agree a new constitution. Not everything will be thrown out from the 1972 constitution, but very large proportion of it will be revised and rewritten. Yeah, enshrining these and the aspirations and the aims and objectives of the uh, uprising. Yeah, once that is done, once that is done, then let's go for a referendum, get the approval from the people. Yeah, so that it becomes the supreme will of the people. Yeah, we are not just saying it, but it becomes, and that will cement its position
Yep.
in the constitution and above the constitution, because and then have an election under the new arrangement. You
Mm.
understand?
Yeah.
And not within the new existing constitution, because what they're saying is existing constitution, if you put them in there, then a government with two-thirds can come in and change them, which
Mm.
is what Hasina has done in the past. You know, our even this 72 constitution has been tempered with so many times. There are contradictions, there are, clauses that doesn't make sense and all of that. So it needs revising. So they're asking for a fundamental rewriting and redrafting of the constitution through a constituent assembly, which will be elected first. Yeah. They will then agree or rewrite the new constitution. That new constitution will be put to a gonna vote, yeah, a referendum. And
Mm.
then if it is positive, then it's the will of the people and it becomes the supreme authority of the country. In future, none of this can be changed by a government. You will need another portion in future if there is a big change. Yeah. Otherwise, there will be part of it. An elected government in parliament can change it. Another party coming in next time, they can change it if they have the require majority in the house. Yeah. So that's the thinking at the moment.
Sure.
And this is where the sticking point is. This is where the sticking point is. They cannot agree. And this is why Professor Yunus and Consensus Commission is having a bad time. They're struggling to achieve consensus. So they are convening the Consensus Commission for the third time, end of September, hoping that some consensus will be reached. Yeah, and the party and the country can move forward.
Surely, Ayub, I have a question. Like, obviously, I followed the whole revolution myself, and the main issue was reforms in Bangladesh. Obviously, it started from the quota
Mm.
system, your quota system. Surely,
Mm.
nobody mentioned about elections during the revolution, but here we have uh, a large party, the BNP, calling for elections. I mean, how is that even, you know?
See, this is it, because I think there
And
is
surely,
a
like
lot of
after all the people the
contradictions.
former government killed, Sheikh Hasina and her government actually killed almost 2,000 students, maimed almost more than 30,000 people. Um, Surely, all the parties should be asking for justice right now, and then reforms, and then elections. When I speak to people on the
This is
street,
this is
that's what the feelings are on the street. People are saying this should be the main demand, that we get justice.
Yeah, and this was the position of the uprising and those who are in the forefront of uprising, and public as well as political parties were united on this. Yeah, but the scenario changed immediately after the election. Remember, uh, even before Yunus and his team could settle in their new office, yeah,
Hmm.
there was a demand from BNP within 3 months, let's have the election. Yeah.
Mm.
And I think what BNP is being very opportunistic and selfish here, if you allow me to say that, because as a as the biggest political party, they will win anyway.
Mm.
But what they're trying to do is get into power too quickly, yeah, and cutting corners. And they don't need to do that, yeah, because that is disrespectful to those who gave life, and it's also kicking out the aspirations of the revolution and the opportunities we have before us, yeah. Uh, they think that Hasina has been deposed, we have won, we have done our job. Now let's have the election and have a elected government. But that will not change anything,
Mm.
because unless you also change the fascist system that sustained Hasina
Exactly.
and allowed her to become the kind of tyrant that she turned out to be, then BNP is liable to, turn into that kind of rulers. Yeah. And, their future is not going to be good.
Yeah.
They
Ayub,
will face the same
so
problem.
we are
So it is
actually
in that.
running out of time. So we only have a minute. So your final thoughts on the July Charter? We have a minute. So in 30 seconds, your final thoughts on the July Charter, whether this will be enacted, and what is your take on the Bangladesh future and the elections in 30 seconds, please?
I think July Charter is a very important document. Yeah. It represents the essence, if you like, of the revolution. And I think it provides a pathway, yeah, for us to move from where we were to where we want to be. Building new Bangladesh, which is more democratic and more egalitarian and more just for everybody. Yeah, but it will not be done if we hurriedly move into an election, leaving this on one side. Yeah, I think all parties should recognize the importance of these reforms for our country and our people, and sign up to it and get it in a shape so that it is not movable.